Aloha, my name is Jake Shimabukuro, and you're watching LifeMinute TV.
Famed ukulele player Jake Shimabukuro, known as the Jimi Hendrix of the ukulele, stopped by to tell us all about his star-studded duet album, Jake and Friends, featuring collabs with Bette Midler, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Buffett, Ziggy Marley, Vince Gill, Jack Johnson, and so many more.
I always tell people, instead of Jake and Friends, it should have been called Jake and Dreams Come True. So it started about 4 years ago. My manager, Van, we were talking, and he said, you gotta do a collaborations record, like a duets record. So I said, oh yeah, sounds great. He started throwing out some names, and I remember thinking, oh, it's a great idea, but in the back of my head, I was thinking, this is never gonna happen, right? We talked with a longtime friend of mine, Ray Benson from Asleep at the Wheel, who's also on the record. He agreed to help produce the record. So the first phone call that he made was to Willie Nelson. 2 months later, we're in the studio with Willie and recording Stardust, and once we tracked that, it just gave the project a lot of momentum and credibility. And then after that, it was Michael McDonald, Ziggy Marley, Jack Johnson, Bette Midler, Warren Haynes, Sonny Landreth. Oh, Jimmy Buffett. Yes, Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett was one of the first, artists to really take me out on the road, kind of took me under his wing, back in, I think it was the first time I went on tour with 2006. Shortly after, there was a YouTube video of me playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps, actually in New York, in Central Park, that went viral. And that's what kind of started, this whole touring career for me. But Jimmy, took me under his wing, and for several years, I played and toured with him, and I was a member of the Coral Reef Band, and that was an amazing experience, of course, So to have him on this record, kind of brings everything full circle. Here we are today. So, it started pre-pandemic. We finished it up during lockdown. So there are 3 tracks on the record that were recorded remotely, but the other 13 tracks were all recorded in person, which is very rare nowadays. So they're live takes, and kind of did it like they did, back in the day, right? When they would record as a band, or record together in the same room. There's a certain magic and energy that's captured, I think, when everyone's playing together. As far as song selection, I kind of left the ball in everyone else's court, because I wanted them to be able to record something that they already knew or they were comfortable with. And so, like, for example, one of my favorites on there is a duet between Vince Gill and Amy Grant. They did a beautiful rendition of George Harrison's Something, and that was amazing. I mean, it's one of my favorite tracks. It's so romantic, so beautiful. There's just so much love in that recording. Vince mentioned Something because we were talking about that connection with George Harrison and the ukulele, because George Harrison loved the ukulele. So that's why, he mentioned kind of doing a George Harrison song, and so when he said Something, he said, oh, maybe I can, see if Amy will sing this with me. So now we have this incredible recording of Vince Gill and Amy Grant. It's one of my favorites. This one is probably my mom's favorite song off of the new record, and it's because Bette Midler has always been one of her favorite singers. And when I was a kid, she used to sing this Bette Midler song to me all the time. It's a song called The Rose.
What's next?
Still, we're still recording albums, and I'm working on another collaborative project right now. So just, slowly getting back into the routine of what we were doing before, except, with a lot more gratitude, and appreciation, because once we started doing live shows again, in front of a real audience, it was quite emotional. For me, I think when I'm on stage performing, it's a moment or an experience for me where I can be completely present and not have any distractions, and to be in a concert hall or a venue with, whether it's 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people, to be in an environment where everyone is present and in the moment together, sharing, a common experience. think that's what makes it so powerful.
To hear more of this interview, visit our podcast, LifeMinute TV, on iTunes and all streaming podcast platforms.